Alright, and here we go. It is game number 1 in the winner's match of Group A of the Dutch StarCraft League second group stage. In the top left corner of the map we have our German Zurich player, HaNfy.
And if you're Dutch and you're not wearing your orange underwear today, be a little bit ashamed, because on the bottom left hand side of this map we do have 4-team Fnatic. It's Harstem.
Harstem! Harstem! Oh, you can hear it. I can hear the crowd all the way from here. Nice.
A little bit of bias, but don't take it away from HaNfy. Just already once again impressing me a little bit. Even in the game he lost it in a way that I said he should have lost that game way earlier, and he just held on there. He almost pulled an impossible game back and made it possible. So HaNfy is a little bit scary here, and he definitely wants to win, because if he wins this one, he's just he's going to the offline finals. That's it. He doesn't have to play anything again, and if he loses this, you have to play against either J-Power or Genji Takia, and that's not a position you want to be in.
Man, just think of that. This one match decides which of these players advance to the live finals. This is actually the first of this year's matches which actually decides a seed for the offline event. So if you have any family or friends that like StarCraft or who should like StarCraft, make sure to have them watch right now, because this is a game of significance with a very fancy Dutch player in there, so who wouldn't want to watch that? I mean, there was a thread on Reddit discussing yesterday that people seem reluctant, or that there's not much there's not a very big market for streaming games that are not the absolute highest level, like GSL style. So people are not very interested in the sub-top level, or there was a thread specifically about the North Americas, where some guy said, well, I'm running a tournament in North America, but nobody's watching. Why aren't they watching? And I think that having a specific, I think that seeing your countrymen play is something that could motivate you to watch, even if it's not at the very highest level, which of course Harstem is playing at the very highest level, let's get straight about that. But this being an event, the finals of which are going to be in the Netherlands, it's going to be an event that you can actually visit. I think that makes it worth watching, like these online rounds, right? Because you get to know the players, you get to know the stories, and you can actually come to the offline event and see the conclusion by yourself.
I remember my father always had some things he organized for the schools in The Hague, which was a music competition. And you're thinking, what does it have to do with StarCraft? Well, he once said to me, you've watched it on DVD, you've watched it on some stream, stuff like that, but you've never experienced it. You gotta go with me and you gotta experience it, and you're going to find a whole new love for these kind of events I'm organizing. And he was right. And the same thing goes for the Dutch StarCraft League. I've been watching it as a viewer originally, and I was interested in helping out, and then I experienced it by being there, by being in the crowd, being in an atmosphere where you could really see everything. And if you have not been to an event, and that's not something you have usually been to when you're from the Netherlands, because there's not that many events,
Nope.
Then you really gotta go, because there's a whole different thing from watching StarCraft and experiencing it.
Definitely. I have a girlfriend who's actually quite skeptical of, watching other people play games. I mean, playing games by yourself, is one thing, playing them yourself. But watching other people play games, she asked me, so what's the fun in that? But she actually visited the offline event last year of the Dutch StarCraft League Open in 2013. And after that, she said, well, I kind of see what you're getting at. So she liked it. And, I'm basically making the same point that you just made. Come to the live event.
Yep. Playing with yourself is so much less fun than watching other people do it. That's how I would position it. But we do have a Stargate on the way for Harstem in game number 1. And it is hate it or love it with the slight jokes I try to make every now and then. We do have a Phoenix, which means he's going for more of a control style play, Harstem that is. And he will probably either wait for a few Phoenixes, but looking at the waypoint, he's going to be hunting for some Overlords and getting a good indication of what your opponent is doing, because with the Phoenixes out, you can fly over the base, pick up an occasional drone, make sure there's no Overlords on the map, and then start thinking about a good follow-up. And that's a play on this map I've seen a lot, and I've liked it a lot.
Well, this Overlord's really getting all the way up to the edge of the base of the map, but it's not going to save him. Goes down, and like you said, if you kill these Overlords hanging around your base, you blind the Zurich, cut out his eyes.
Yep. And that's something that's really important in StarCraft, of course. The map position you're in, and the Phoenixes are fast units. They can get from one place to the other really quickly, and they can also scout exactly what's going on. That's gonna put HaNfy in a little bit of an awkward position. He already placed his Spore Crawlers, he's placing his Overlords in a defensive position, but he's not gonna be placing like a Hydra Den or a Roach Warren and surprise his opponent. Harstem will know exactly what's going on in this game, and he's gonna start preparing a follow-up, but for now it's just adding a few gateways, very standard. It's gonna be what's next that defines his play.
Ooh, the Queen lifted. Queen just got slightly out of range of the Spore Crawler. You see the Spore Crawler repositioning itself right away. This one Queen actually will not go down unless a second lift is applied, and there we go. Takes some slight damage on one of the Phoenixes and took out a Queen. There is, of course, another Queen there to make the inject continue, but this will hamper the creep spread from HaNfy.
Yep, and as mentioned, the Phoenixes are very good at scouting and so forth, but you also have to keep them alive, because they're gonna be useful later on. And it's also gonna prevent mutas in a lot of positions, and he's kept the Phoenixes alive for so far, and he's actually picking up a Queen.
Again?
Which is a nice pickup, again. We do have a lair, and we've got a Hydra Den on the way, so the Hydras are gonna be the first units, and they're gonna start warding away these Phoenixes. Some drones being picked up once again. If you check the units lost right now, you actually see that these lost 9 units, and it's gonna be 10 with this Overlord.
Yep,
it's quite a significant loss.
5 drones going down now. Actually, 1 probe just died. That was probably on the map somewhere.
And you gotta take into account that not only did he lose a lot of drones in that position, but he also made 6 Spore Crawlers, which is 6 additional drones not mining right now, and also an investment in the Spore Crawlers. He's got 3 bases mining comfortably, but Harstem is taking his own 3rd base, and he's doing alright so far, but the Hydras are gonna give some breathing room to HaNfy here.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing, by the way, on in the left corner of your screen? This little image of drones with a cross through them?
Yeah, I think it means I don't know.
What does it
I'm
mean?
not sure. I'm pretty sure it could mean that 6 of them died, but I think it's more than that. I'm not sure.
Let me check.
It's new.
8 of them died. Oh,
Alright.
now it's actually gone. So why was that?
I'm not sure. Maybe something new in Game Heart. Maybe 6 drones recently died, just to make it a little bit easier to see that happen. There are some Zerglings trying to run in. They're being denied though, and HaNfy doesn't really get any intel except for the fact that there is a 3rd base coming up, which is quite significant. He's adding a 4th base of his own for the time being, and once again a Queen gets picked up.
That's the 3rd Queen that got picked off at that base. Man.
Yep, they're gonna have to find once again another Queen. Maybe it's a better time to start electing kings right there, because those Queens are dying off one after the other, and the Hydras are coming out, but in small numbers, so they're not that effective yet at pushing these Phoenixes away.
Yeah, and of course Hydras in small numbers are liable or are in danger of getting picked up by the Phoenixes, and then they can't do a lot. They float about. Of course,
there's also a Spire on the way, and a Roach Warrior, so I feel like he wants to get that army composition that has been working against Genshi Takia in the games before, but Harstem is actually up in supply right now, and he's looking good.
Yeah, let's take a look at the APM tabs here. Not that APM says everything, but we see that HaNfy is at an average of 220 APM actions per minute, whereas Harstem is only at 194. But like I just said, APM is just kind of an indication of how fast a player is playing. I mean, I think if I tried really hard, I could get up to 200, but then I wouldn't be doing anything useful. It's about what you do with these clicks that make them count.
Yep, sometimes you do see players spam, but it's just to keep a rhythm going. Make sure you're always in the same rhythm, get the same actions per minute every minute, so you're a little bit more used to it. You just get that good feel, especially at the beginning of a game. You see that a lot. But if you really want to see how fast players are, if there's the possibility in an offline event, stand behind one of the players, watch them, and you actually see like how fast everything goes. It's really crazy. Usually I don't really know what's going on anymore, because it just goes from one spot to the other, but really impressive to see.
Yep, it's hard to follow, especially for us looking over the player's shoulder. You do not have a production tab there to show you what's going on. That's all in the player's head, so it's tough to understand if you're not up to the same level.
Yep, and it looks like Harstem right now is adding some Immortals, and he's moving one of them across the map. I don't think he wants to do that, but it's just gonna go ahead and do it anyway. He's also starting to add Colossus, but 10 Corrupt is already on the way for HaNfy.
Retreat!
So he kind of is anticipating it. That Immortal he just walked across the map, killed one Zergling, and he's like, yep, That was
Job well done.
exactly what I was gonna do. What a boss.
Oh,
Keep in mind
nice.
though that the Phoenixes are gonna be very useful against the Corruptors, because the Phoenixes are gonna be the initial target for the Corruptors, unless targeted otherwise, and they're gonna be useful at defending the Colossus from the Corruptors if he keeps them alive. And so far he still is. He's picking off more and more units. Units lost is looking very one-sided, with almost 2,000 resources lost for HaNfy.
Alright, so the Phoenixes don't have their extended range at the moment. So they're going to have a hard time if they're actually going to go up against the Corruptors. But like you said, they can kind of function like a meat shield against the... so that the Colossi don't get sniped by the Corruptors.
And a little bit of a brave blink forward by Harstem there. Did lose 1 or 2 Stalkers, but I feel like in the end it was worth it. Even though I wasn't expecting it. And HaNfy is in full retreat. And it looks like our German Zerg is feeling a little bit uncomfortable here.
Gets supply blocked. He's like, run away! Well, lots of Zealot actually got warped in by this at this pylon here from Harstem. So there's a meat shield. There's lots of Stalkers here with the +2 attack. Yeah, +2 attack I should say. And of course the Phoenix is supporting as well. Emergency Spine Crawler is coming up, but will Harstem attack right now?
And he was trying to pull off once again one of his trademark good surrounds. But Harstem blinks out even before that is relevant. He already has a few illusion Colossus in the mix, so the army is gonna look way more scary than it actually is. He's killing off some of his own Zealots to make different units, and he actually saw those 2 illusions, so he's thinking there's more Colossus than there actually are. Might be one of the indications why he sniped the Overseer.
Overseer, right, yeah.
We do have a Hive on the way. I feel like he wants to get to that Viper move where he can pull in the Colossus, which would be good for him. Although there's only 1 Colossus on the field right now. Or 2 Colossus on the field right now. But HaNfy is already in defensive position and Harstem is not pushing yet. He's just waiting.
Oh. He just took his 4th base, threw out some cannons, so he used this time that he bought by pushing out to secure his 4th base. And wants to draw out the game a little bit longer. And of course he's working on lots of upgrades, and he's working on the air weapons as well for Protoss. And 2 more Stargates. So we're going to see some more air units from Harstem coming up.
Yep.
Do you think it's going to be more Phoenixes, or do you think he's going to transition into, I don't know, Tempests or...
I think against this army composition it would make no sense to make a heavy commitment to the Phoenixes. Tempests don't make the biggest sense either, except if he goes for Tempest plus Void Ray, which should be it. Should add a few Tempests first, then cover it up with Void Rays later on. He does have a fleet bacon, so it's gonna be a few Tempests almost for sure, unless he wants to go carriers, but you rarely ever see that.
There we go, we see actually the range upgrade for the Phoenix
the range
coming down.
upgrade, yeah, it's being researched. Of course, that's good to have. Because if he ever transitions into Mutalisks, he can start making a lot of Phoenixes. But against this army composition, I would be very surprised if he makes a heavy commitment to Phoenixes at this part.
Look at the production tab, by the way. It's upgrade galore.
Yep, even a greater Spire from HaNfy, which is the biggest surprise in that, including the Burrow research, which is something that's always nice to have, I guess. We've got Storm on the way as well, air weapons. From both sides, actually, crazy upgrades. Adrenaline glands for the Zerglings even being researched, and this is going to the late game at this point. And Harstem is still not very confident to move out here. He doesn't want to commit.
He had some Zealots trying to destroy the rocks and top, but then they found themselves between a rock and a hard place because there were some roaches coming from behind who took out the Zealots. But I guess that Harstem really doesn't care about losing some minerals on Zealots. Both players have minerals to spend, right? Thousands of minerals in the bank right now.
Yep, and I mean, these players are very cautious right now, but they're both in a very good position. 20 Spore Crawlers, Frank! 20 of them!
Wow.
100 and 216 supply is what that gets you. Because he cancelled most of them, and he's getting some extra supply. And he's getting 10 Brood Lords with this. So I feel like those Tempests could actually be useful. He's actually sacking a few roaches, and Harstem is way out of position. He's actually recalling for the few roaches that were sent out. And HaNfy is making some cool moves here, because I don't think that the Brood Lords were spotted yet.
And he's going to take a lot of High Templar. There's 6 High Templar here.
No, Harstem, what are you doing? That's a lot of High Templars lost for... I think he lost 2 or something like that. Still
1, I guess.
Berserkings.
Wasn't too bad in the end, but no, there's some Brood Lords here.
That's bad though.
Run away.
It's always scary when you see the first Brood Lords. There is a response in 3 Tempests being added on straight away, because Tempests are very good against them.
Yep, of course he had the Stargates up already, so that's good news. I can remember the very first replay I watched. It was on Husky's channel of a guy playing against a Broodlord, and this Broodlord showed up in the Protoss base, and the Protoss was like, "What is that thing?" You'd never even seen it. So yeah, the first time you run up against a Broodlord, it's always scary.
It was actually a little bit of a warp in at the natural of HaNfy. I feel like he lost a lot of drones. I'm not sure, but some things are bleeding. We did miss out on that. I'm sorry for the guys at home, but I feel like Harstem did kill some probes there, and it looks like HaNfy is. His Broodlords are a little bit exposed in the back, but Harstem is so far away, he can't really do anything about this.
No.
And he doesn't have the Mothership Core with the army, so he can't recall either. And the Broodlords are actually getting in an excellent position, just over that little choke of debris there. And look at this, the Hydras are going to do a good amount of DPS, a good surround from HaNfy, and Harstem is in the back foot here. This is so hard for Harstem right now.
Tempest coming out, but they're getting focused down by Hydras. One goes down right away, and there's 2 Immortals now at risk of going down really fast, and yes they do. This is wow, this is a tough attack from HaNfy, but the supply, of course, is telling us that Harstem is still holding on strong and replenishing his armor really fast, but with the Broodlords there, I'm not sure.
It's looking scary still. He's losing a lot of his expensive units. He still has a decent amount of Stalkers, but he needs those Tempests. He needs those Tempests to deal with the Broodlords, because the Broodlords are going pretty much uncontested right now. He is down in supply with most of his reinforcements. There's only 1 Corruptor and 1 Hydra, so these Broodlords are gonna die. But they did a lot of damage.
Sick damage output from these Tempests, by the way. Bam.
It's a good thing that Harstem actually has the 4th base right now, because he would have been in a bad position if that was his only 3rd base there.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what happens when a Zerg gets up to 216 supply and attacks you with a Broodlord Roach Hydra army.
I still feel like, even though that attack was really good by HaNfy, and he did an excellent job, he's still only on 4 bases against 4 bases. And the amount of Tempest is really getting a little bit out of hand there for Harstem. And that could start being a problem. If he snipes this Nexus, sure. But I don't think he's gonna get that. And this amount of Tempest, I don't feel like he's gonna break that. Even with the Hydras, I'm not sure. There's 2 Colossus underneath. He is sending a lot of units onto the Nexus, so he could cancel the Nexus while he distracts these units. He's doing that right now, and I like that move. He's gonna kill that Nexus, killed a lot of the probes there. He's holding the army back.
Harstem back to 2 bases.
He can't kill it fast enough.
Harstem is back to 2 bases.
He's getting no income right now, Frank.
Man, Harstem up against the ropes. Will our Dutch hero make it out?
Watch it next time on Dragon Ball now. But on the other side though, HaNfy is not actually mining that much. I feel like we missed a lot of counterattacks from Harstem. We must have, because he doesn't have that many drones right now. He's actually making drones. He's only got 45. Which it's gonna annoy everybody at home that we missed all of those things, but I didn't actually see it happen, so that's too bad. But Harstem is in a little bit of a bad spot here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bad time in about 2 minutes when the chat explodes and gawks all over us for missing all these harasses.
How could you miss that? I saw it on the mini-map 8 minutes ago.
0 out of 10, would not watch again.
Yep. Sorry for that, guys. I mean, there was so much action at the front. And I know that Harstem actually yesterday, he showed us some excellent counterattacking on the WCS with War Prism. He was very patient with that, and he used it excellently. I feel like he might have done the same this game. I did see it once, a little bit too late. But Harstem has a good army composition. He just doesn't have that much money income, and HaNfy is hurting as well. But he did a lot of good moves.
HaNfy going for a 5th base, and I think that he needs to do that at this point, because Harstem is re-establishing his 4th base actually, so HaNfy needs to keep up.
He's actually switching into Mutas, and if this goes unscouted, he could make something happen with that. If Harstem starts adding Phoenixes, it's gonna get shut down, but the Tempests are not that good against the Mutas. He does have some High Templars though.
Yeah.
The Storms are gonna be good. Yeah, quite a lot actually, he has 7 of them.
7, yeah.
But still, you can dodge Storms, and the Mutas regenerate really fast, but he's only gonna have a very small window where it works, and he's actually somehow...
Harstem is out of position. Taking a lot of damage, he might actually lose his 3rd base again. Nope.
If HaNfy commits, yeah, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose for sure.
Yep.
HaNfy's gonna lose a few units, probably the Zerglings and the Roaches, but that's okay. It's worth it here.
Yeah. Wow. HaNfy making this work. Harstem needs more observers on the map. What can he do to prevent... Yeah, I guess make more observers, right? To prevent HaNfy from walking in like this and sniping a base.
And HaNfy's actually going in with the Mutas onto the other 3rd base.
Nice.
They start getting a lot of probes there.
Distracting the Protoss army with the Hydras and the Roaches, and now sweeping in. Oh, and there's actually some Vipers there as well. But the Vipers are not going to be doing too...
Actually, some decent storms at the original third base of Harstem, killing a lot of these units here. I think he killed like at least 8 of those Hydras with 2 good storms. But the Mutas fly in again, start picking up a lot of probes again, start targeting the Nexus as well. If he gets that Nexus, could be over for Harstem. He actually pulls in one of the Tempest, pulls it in again, and that's still in.
Wants to get it. Wow.
HaNfy is giving it its all here, and he's showing us a good map. He's pulling Harstem every which direction, and Harstem he can't defend all of these locations right now.
Yeah, and I guess 16 probes have been killed recently. That's what GameHard just told me.
Yep, with the drone stop sign on the left, it just looks like a sign like stop the drones. And Harstem is doing a good job of that, even though we keep missing it. The Mutas fly in again, but this time there's gonna be a few Phoenixes.
Yeah, and there's again probes going down. Or 7 already, 8, 9, there we go. There's units uncontested in third base of Harstem. Now they're contested.
I feel like they might go down, but they're already making this work. If you check the unit step right now, you'll see that Harstem only has 23 probes left against 60 drones. That's such a hard position for Harstem to be in. He has a very efficient army. He still has the Colossus. He still has the Tempest. He's got decent upgrades, pretty good upgrades on all of those units, even on the air army. So he's not out of this yet, but HaNfy, he's multitasking like a boss here.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and the Phoenixes, the Vipers pulling in Phoenixes. Very nice, because these Phoenixes with the range can just keep dancing around the Mutalisk. But if there's Vipers there, yeah, they can pull the Phoenixes in. Vipers have very long tongues, apparently.
Looks like Harstem has had enough, Frank. He's had enough with this German Zerg pulling him every direction. He's sacking his Nexus at the 4 base. He's going for the counterattack. He's going to give it his all. He has a lot of high Templars. They're going to be key in making this work. He's got an efficient army, like I mentioned earlier, but HaNfy still has bases on the right-hand side of the map. He's going to have some time to make some extra roaches, to make some extra units. And the Mutas are going to be very good in a base race scenario.
Yeah.
He's taking the main structures, but the Harstem is also pulling through. And remember, a lot of that supply advantage from HaNfy is in drones. He still has some Phoenixes on the map, right? He should have some Phoenix on the map. They could start working on those Mutas. He has 5 of them. But there are some Vipers, so they could actually pull in the Phoenixes towards the Mutas. It's gonna be hard.
This is gonna be a chaotic situation here. Gonna try and keep up with all the observing. Harstem is going right for the bases that still have minerals for HaNfy, instead of going for all the tech structures in the main base. I think that's a good move, right?
That's a good move, but he has to be careful because he's also losing all of his Nexi. And the Mutas, like I said, are really ideal in a base scenario.
Harstem doesn't know about the 5th base of HaNfy.
He doesn't know.
HaNfy evacuated the base, pulled all of his drones, but of course Harstem didn't know it was there.
That's actually, he never scouted that base, I think. No, he didn't. He doesn't see it on the minimap. He's going for the main base right now, as is I
think Harstem is gonna lose this, man.
I think so. I think he has a very good chance of losing this because of the Vipers being there. The Phoenixes could have started trading against the Mutas because they outranged them, but they can just get pulled in. So he needs to.
Oh boy.
He needs to deal with the Vipers. 1 Muta down.
Harstem has only 5 probes left, and they are at the bottom right of the map, and they're actually being scouted by a hatchery from HaNfy going down.
They're a simulator rushing that hatchery from HaNfy.
Yes, Harstem needs to get down there now and defend these probes, because if they go down, Harstem has no way to rebuild anything. Does he even have the money? No, he doesn't have the money. There's no way Harstem is gonna be able to do anything. He has to kill everything that HaNfy has got now and keeps, whacking the mole, keep putting down all these hatcheries that go down.
He could still take out this army. If he kills the Vipers, he kills one of them. If he kills the other Viper, the Phoenix are uncontested. They will eventually kill all of those Mutalisks.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially with the storms. HaNfy has to be careful here. He could still lose this. This is a very close game, as close as it gets. But look at the production tab, Frank. 7 roaches on the way.
Roaches on the way, and there go the probes of Harstem. No more probes left, and there actually goes the assimilator. This is a very crucial move. With this assimilator gone, and the Phoenixes are not going to be able to stop these Zerglings. Are they? Do they have enough energy?
This is gonna be.
This is gonna be
super close. And it looks like Harstem actually got his opponent a little bit in the corner there. He doesn't want to go out. He's afraid to go out of the base right now. HaNfy knows that this is still very much a game. And he needs those Hydras, he needs those Roaches. But he's still producing units. Harstem is unable to make any units. He's not going to be able to make any units. And he's still mining as well. He's got 1,777 gas as well.
More structures going. I've got the structures tab up now. Harstem only has 1 pylon, One robotics facility, which right here.
Stalkers. He's losing some stalkers to the Mutas and the Viper right there. He targets the Viper. Very smart, Harstem. Good game sense.
But these 2 buildings plus 3 assimilators that are out somewhere on the map are the only buildings left for Harstem.
Yep, and I mean, HaNfy is already hunting these buildings. You can see it. He wants to just kill the building, but he also wants to just defend because I think he's got this game, Frank.
I think so too. This has been a crazy game, and of course, because all of Harstem's Nexi have been destroyed, Harstem's buildings are revealed, which means that HaNfy can see them on the minimap. Actually, another assimilator went down, so there's only 4 buildings left for Harstem right now. He needs to defend them, but he's left them completely undefended at the moment. What's he doing? He's trying to engage the army, kill it off before he can kill his buildings. But
he's trying to kill the Viper, get some good storms off, and this is his only chance. This is the last chance for the Dutchman. And the storms are excellent on the army. He's actually killing all of these Mutalisks. He's killing all of these Hydralisks. He's making this work. He's actually taking it all out. But can HaNfy still get this back? I mean, there's an Archon on the way, but there's also still units for HaNfy being constructed, but Harstem holds strong just for the moment here.
What the hell is going on? I still think that Harstem has no way of beating this, because HaNfy is on multiple bases still. He's mining at the bottom. He spots, of course, and he's got this one hatchery already covered, assimilator already covered in creep, so that's gonna go down. And there's 2 buildings here, basically undefended. So Harstem is still in a very, very precarious situation.
If Harstem wants to win this, he needs to kill the Hydroden. The Hydroden is actually bleeding out on its own. Right now, and if the Overlord does not start supporting that with some extra creep, the Hydra then will actually fall, because these Hydras are going to be the end of him. He can hold off a lot of them with the Colossus, but eventually he's going to lose it out, and it looks like the Archon is on a solo mission against a few roaches and a queen. I might get picked off, and on the bottom side of the map it looks like Harstem is going to lose another assimilator.
Yep, Harstem down to only 1 assimilator, which is at the basically on the left side of the map. And of course the pylon and robotics facility. That's it for Harstem.
Yep.
I think he's got to realize, right?
No, he can't do it anymore. He knows it now. There's a good transfuse. HaNfy is like, yep, I got you by the throat, and I'm just gonna strangle you until there's nothing left. And this is a well fought game.
Well fought indeed. Yeah, this is gonna be the end. Colossi falling. There goes the Immortal. Maybe if the queens get taken out.
And he's been so good with his unit.
Look at the micro.
Like, damn it! Could have won this game, but just barely didn't. And HaNfy take game number 1 in